was the morning of April 9, 2018, when the first alarm bells rang in Hong Kong's elite circles. The sun rose slowly over Victoria Harbour, its golden light bouncing off glass towers in Central District. Traders began their day, traffic flowed as usual. But one penthouse, perched atop the 88th floor of the Paramount Tower, stood unusually silent. No staff had seen Xiang Wei, the 53-year-old billionaire media tycoon, since the previous evening. His phone was off. His biometric access logs showed no exits or entries past midnight. His private security team was unresponsive. For a man as habitually regimented and hyper-secure as Xiang, this wasn't just strange, it was terrifying. Xiang wasn't just another wealthy businessman. He was the CEO of Wei Tech Media, a conglomerate spanning digital broadcasting, satellite infrastructure, and political consulting. He had close ties to the Communist Party of China, dined with Russian oligarchs, and held silent stakes in multiple Western tech firms. By April 10, whispers of his disappearance reached stockbrokers in Tokyo and Manhattan. Wei Tech's shares plummeted 19% before noon. Panic spread. Had Xiang Wei fled the country? Had he been kidnapped? Assassinated? Then came the chilling CCTV footage. At 2 a.m. on April 9, Xiang Wei's private rooftop helipad camera recorded him returning to his penthouse from a dinner in Wan Chai. He wasn't alone. A woman in a wide-brimmed hat, trench coat, and surgical mask followed him into the elevator. Her identity remains unknown to this day. The elevator descended to his suite on the 88th floor, and that's where the footage ends. Just 2 minutes before they arrived, the penthouse security grid had been disabled. Power to internal surveillance was cut, cleanly, professionally. Whoever did it knew the layout. They knew the timing. They knew Xiang's habits. They wanted him gone. By April 12, a formal police investigation began, under immense political pressure. But the investigation hit immediate walls. Xiang's 5-man security team all disappeared. 3 had called in sick the previous day. The other 2 simply vanished. Their phones pinged once near Lantau Island, then silence. That silence shattered on April 14th when a fisherman discovered a body floating near Changsha Beach. It was Haunt Zi, Xiang's lead bodyguard. His body was zipped inside a diving suit, face unrecognizable, fingerprints burned, teeth removed. But inside his mouth, crudely stitched shut with rusted wire, was a note. Some shadows speak louder than kings. Media speculation exploded. Was Xiang Wei silenced by foreign agents? Had his connections to a controversial anti-corruption documentary triggered his downfall? Just a week before Vanishing, Xiang had been editing a documentary alleging that elite Chinese politicians were laundering billions through overseas real estate. He had reportedly received death threats. On April 17, Interpol released a blurred image from a noodle shop a mile from Xiang's residence, possibly showing the mystery woman discarding a phone into a storm drain. The phone, when recovered, had been wiped clean. Except for one image, recovered from deep cache layers. Xiang Wei, unconscious, gagged and tied to a steel chair. Behind him, a crude map of Southeast Asia, Singapore circled in red. 3 days later, on April 20, port authorities in Singapore intercepted a seafood shipping container, flagged by Interpol. It had traveled from Shenzhen through Macau. Inside was no Xiang, but a blood-smeared wall with one phrase painted in red. Truth costs, he paid. With no ransom demands and no clear motive, authorities grew suspicious. Maybe Xiang hadn't been kidnapped. Maybe he was escaping something worse. Then came the emails. On May 2, a whistleblower named Karen Tong, a former executive at Wei Tech, leaked a string of emails between Xiang and his private legal team. Xiang had grown increasingly paranoid. In one message dated March 23, 2018, he wrote, "I feel them circling, the hollow men. If I go silent, assume I was taken." He had mentioned plans to flee to Argentina, had secured false documents, and even rented a private jet registered under a shell company called Black Falcon Holdings. He left behind a clue, coordinates 22.3964 DGN 114109 DE. Police tracked the location to a dusty storage unit in Kowloon. Inside, they found a duffel bag with burner phones, a hard drive, and a Hong Kong passport with a new identity, Li Fang, born 1965. The hard drive held over 30 encrypted videos showing Xiang in meetings with oligarchs, diplomats, and intelligence officers. In one, he sits beside a known MI6 handler. In another, he's dining with a Russian arms dealer. If the videos were real, they would trigger diplomatic collapse. But just as the world began speculating, a body appeared in Jakarta, Indonesia. On May 19, 2018, a man, badly burned, face surgically reconstructed. Dental records were gone, but after a week of DNA testing, the result was shocking. It was Xiang Wei. The cause of death, ligature asphyxiation. He had been dead for roughly 2 weeks, matching the timeline of his last known sighting. No one could explain how he ended up in Indonesia. No witnesses, no fingerprints, no flight logs. And just like that, the case was closed. May 21, the Chinese government issued a single, sterile statement. Mr. Xiang Wei has passed. We extend condolences to his family. No foul play is suspected. But no funeral was held. Subscribe now for more gripping stories, unsolved crimes, and dramatic investigations that the world tried to forget, but we refuse to let die. Stay curious, stay skeptical, stay awake.